Nice. So not only do you have your Kickstarter that launched today.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to end up doing the cover for him for that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So, are you a little scared that because you launching this Kickstarter that we're going to talk about in a little bit after the show or at the end of the show? Are you a little scared that your parents and family might be, if you've been telling them about this, that hey, we're going to go do a podcast, that they might actually watch it?
No.
Okay,
I
good. I haven't told
fear
anyone to watch this.
no man, and I also know nobody watches this podcast, so we're safe.
we have our 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, I mean, besides the guys,
gameplay's in here already.
Right.
It was great. I was talking to you a little bit earlier, guys. I got to hop on Renovision and got to watch participate in their tax show they do every Wednesday. They go really long. We shoot for 45 minutes max. I think we hit 3 hours, 3.5, which is way past my bedtime. I'm an early riser, go to bed early guy. It was fun. I had a blast doing it. Check it out. Go to Renovision. But I also know that almost all of you that watch his stuff too, because I'm like, oh, there's that guy. The ones that actually make comments.
Right.
So thank you
the best guys, the comment guys.
So, but guys, once again, it's a light week, not quite as light as last week, but it is a light week. We're going to jump into them. There's some covers I really like. That like last week, it was hard to even find a cover to get excited about. I don't know about for you, Joe. Like it was hard. Yeah, I guess we always got to start for a question. Did you hit the shop?
I did not.
Did not, because we told you it was not going to be a good week. I saved your money, Joe. We made it.
I know. Thank you.
Sadly, well, not sadly. I actually had a really good week hitting shops. But I actually bought some new books that were like new as of 3 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
I did pick up the Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
I've halfway through it. You popped into the stream. I was reading it as we were waiting. I hate to admit, I did great. Well, I got Adam Hughes. I found the black and white.
Cool.
For the Gun Honey. I really do like that cover. And then I picked up both 1 and 2 of Rogues Gallery.
Oh, nice.
So it's fun. Issue 2 is like I'm enjoying the series. It's going to keep me buying it. So it's doing its job. And then I did get a Wind, the foil variant of the new Wind, because I just support that series. And thanks, Double. Thanks for giving me credit for it. It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. So, but let's jump in and look at the books we got coming. And then we stick around. They just today, and the link is in I'm telling you guys now, if you go to YouTube, the link is already in our little thing. You can click on it to go to the Kickstarter. You can get a piece of original Joe art and his co-creator, and you can get a piece of her art as well. Hopefully she will join us later on.
Yeah, supposed to.
Let's jump in and look at what we got coming. All right. New comic book week next week. Some good stuff. Let me get my mouse where it should be.
Episode 39.
Yes. Whew. So we're on episode. This is an interesting book.
Yeah.
And Joe, maybe I can't remember if you were excited about this or it just sort of came. What do you know?
I can't either. I mean, I think it has potential to be good. They're basically taking a lot of his Batman covers, and he's somehow managed to put them in and make a story out of this one shot.
Yeah.
It could end up being really cheesy. It could be splash page after splash page after splash page. I don't know. But some of those covers are amazing. So if you missed them, this is a good place to like grab them and check it out. I will probably pick it up.
Well, shoot, this B cover with the hotel sign is ridiculous. And then I am showing 2 because it's a foil. There's a 1 for 25 or 1 for 50 foil. So that's why I'm showing the same cover twice. There's a foil version. And I have to be consistent with 3 slides. I love the covers. But
why volume 2?
Why is it with the same guy? Philip Kennedy Johnson's writing it again. Maybe our 3 and 4 fans out there can tell me why they rebooted.
Tell us, everybody. We have no idea.
Now, I do like the covers. Stopped. Yeah, I know it had stopped for a minute, so maybe they just said, you know what, Predator's out now. We got to build towards a Predator battle. So that could be where they're going. But this bear. Now I do appreciate. I don't know if Joe, you remember. I don't know how much you were in. Um, is I do appreciate that there wasn't 50 variants when issue
Right.
1 came out originally. There was like 50 variants. Marvel is doing, and I really noticed it this week. I don't know how much they're not going variant crazy.
Yeah.
They still have 3 or 4, but it's not the ridiculousness that it was even like 6 months ago.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so
The beginning of this year, it was literally ridiculous with Twig and stuff like that getting 80 covers.
oh, yeah.
And that, that instantaneously turned us off. So maybe,
but yeah,
maybe
we're
other
gonna
people
mention the
too.
show. But yeah, and then you really like this one in the middle by
Yeah.
Charest. Is that how you say his
Yeah.
name?
I think so. Yeah.
It's
Charest, maybe. I don't know. I think he's French. Yeah, the ink is so good, and
yeah.
I mean the others are awesome too. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care anything about Alien, but those are great looking images.
And the one in the center, guys, is and those of you that collect a lot, the Diamond retailer exclusives that come out every year. There's like 5 to 10 books that come out that are just black and white versions of a cover. So like there's a regular color version of this cover, and this is the black and white retailer incentives, which is like a 5,000 print run. So it's
Wow.
I don't know. If it ends up having like a key first appearance for Alien lore, maybe it's worth something. But I do like it. And then you get the Ryan Brown, which Ryan Brown's he's a great horror cover guy.
Yeah.
So it works. And Alien can be a shiny bad guy because he's slimy. So
yeah, it looks great.
That's all we got as far as showing 3 covers, guys. These are some covers we like, or at least I like. I make this selection, so Joe just has to nod his head and agree.
Sometimes if there's something that I'm like, oh, we gotta throw that on, we put it on there. But
oh yeah,
normally I just trust you. It's fine. I do no homework. Come on.
This is I'm surprised that it seems like every week I throw one of these covers up when he does one. I have not started reading the series. I never read the first one, so I'm curious. But I like this Dan Brereton cover. It's just it reminds me of the pulp, but then you got the koi fish, and then you have the black cat from the 50s. So it's so much fun going on all in one
cover. There's a lot
cover.
going on, yeah.
I read
the first one. I thought it was good.
Did you? Okay, good. And you agree with me. Disappointed in the 127 covers
for Batman. Yeah, I mean, this Jock Cityscape is like so good that you kind of forget there's a Batman up there. But it's a pretty great cover. But it's graphic. Everything else was very, shiny and pretty things.
Yeah. But then I was seeing a cover like this Dark Knights of Steel one shot or whatever, or maybe it's a new series or whatever, makes me want to go back and read the first one because it's Tom Taylor. But I love this cover. This is Dan Moore. There's also one for 25 and I think a one for 50. So it's a really good cover. More covers we like, guys. It is a Batman heavy episode, evidently. I love this cover here. This is Detective Comics. This is the second printing. It's a foil, but you also have the regular cover. But this is like the Virgin foil cover. It's a one for 25. I read this issue. It was good. I hadn't read any Detective, and I want to see where this goes. And I like the idea of the demon bat coming out of his head, and it's addressing that entire is he a demon, is he not type thing. Book in the middle, guys. I know we showed it last week. Evidently, it's for some stores it's coming out this week, so I just figured I'd throw it in there again. And finally, there's some controversy around these Hispanic Heritage Month, and I can't figure out because I've seen 2 different images for the Green Lantern one that comes out like next week or the week after. But this one here, if it truly is the Multiversity Teen Justice number 4, it's like homages to great Hispanic art, but yet they make sure that all the characters are eating Hispanic food, so it's Hispanic. I mean, like,
sorry,
I don't know why. From the Green Lantern one that I've seen 2 different versions of it. One of them, and we talked about it last night on TAC. The version I saw on TAC last night, he was holding a bag of tamales. Double O's calling you out for the walk around.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, he was nice about it. He's not calling you out. he felt like you're like had the little harness on, like you're in.
Oh yeah, always. I got the rig on.
But yeah, so I'm not sure where you stand on that. That's the only reason I'm showing that. And I was like, Joe, what Hispanic artist is this a homaging? Is this a Frida? Is this a Diego Rivera? I'm like, there's the only two I know.
Yeah, I'm like giant nose and hair into my. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, like I don't really like. I just one that's like you can tell it's like a woodcut or something like that. But all right, let's go on to the next slide, guys. All right, more cover. Sozo Makia on a different DC than Catwoman, but she's doing the B cover. I know the B cover last time where it wasn't an incentive, still did really well. Most stores sold out of it. So it wasn't a $50 book, but the one for $25 has quit being $50 books too.
Yeah.
So
we've shown a lot of this Poison Ivy run.
Yeah, and for people that their books, the question is who reads them. Like everyone's buying them for the covers, but it's one of those like who's reading the book.
Right? You're reading it, right?
Oh yeah, I have the entire set right here. And then you got Sword of Azrael. This is a Mahini cover. It's just spooky.
Yeah, it's
fun. Like last time I ended up showing like the one shot they had, but this just looks interesting. Third cover here is it's Shredder. I don't think there has been a ton of Shredder on the cover from the IDW run. So anytime you get an incentive with Shredder on the cover, to me it has some value to it. Now it definitely feels more like a from the cartoon series type look to it, or the modern cartoon series. But Turtles is so hard to spec on. It's like you can't. It's a long term. You buy it and you just sit on it, and then all of a sudden people go, "Oh, I want that one," and you can't find it anywhere. GI Joe's the same way. Transformers are the same way. You always end up creating new fans, but it takes the 5-year-olds have to become 25-year-olds or 35-year-olds. So
43-year-old. What?
This is one I hate to put a Star Trek book.
We've done that a lot too lately.
I mean, I did put the Star Trek book with the cat on it.
Yeah.
But guys, if you don't know what this is a Star Trek issue 400. You know how they do that, where they collaborate all the different Star Trek books that are out there, and okay, now we're on 400. But what makes this cover special in my mind is the Below Deck show. If you watched on Paramount Plus, there's that Rick and Morty style cartoon show, basically talking about all the characters that always die. So it's like how they cut loose and how they survive and all those different things. So here's a cover with those characters. So if you enjoy that show, this might be something to grab.
Right.
So, and I like the show. I've watched about 2 episodes of it and I enjoyed it. It's just one of those. There's so many things. Like you got Archer, you got Rick and Morty, you got all the other ones. It's like, why watch Below Deck? I'm not that big of a Star Trek fan. But we go from that to Walking Dead Deluxe. But Tedesco, when he actually, I don't know when he doesn't hit right now. But this cover is great.
Ironically, black and white.
Yeah.
On the Deluxe, which is
I had situated between an orange and a pink.
Yeah.
And then it's great. And then of course you get the Ghost Rider. The other 2 Ghost Riders are great too. There's a Barons cover and another one, but this one, just because of those, Joe and I go for color almost always. And then you got the Reaper, which is one of my favorite covers. I can't remember who did the Reaper cover.
One of the guys will know.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Unless it's Todd. Yeah. Good covers.
Some more covers. I've actually sort of excited to show Cafu or CAFU. I don't know how. CAFU. First off, it's Spider-Man, so I love Spider-Man. But I follow him on Instagram or her, whoever this person is on Instagram, and I always go, did they do a cover? I can't remember. And now I'm like, oh, sadly, it's on Immortal X-Men #6. It's like it's a great Spider-Man cover on an X-Men book that I haven't been reading at all. Though we've highlighted a few of their covers because they've had some really good covers.
Yeah.
And then we got your girl here in the center.
Yeah, Danny. Awesome.
Now, will you buy it or not?
Not at cover price. I might buy it if I find it later. I mean, it's the cover A, so probably find it later.
Oh yeah. Well, but it's also Blade Runner Black. Like it's always one of those. It's a weird book that it'll probably eventually end up in dollar bins, but you have to be in like New York, big city, to find it in a dollar bin because no one buys this book.
Right.
But I'll say that. I mean, this is like the 4th Blade Runner series Titan's done. So
yeah, there's been a bunch, and I've seen a bunch come through some of the cheaper boxes.
And guys, here you got Once and Future. It's issue 28, I think. Yeah, no, 29. So there's one issue from being done. The incentive. I kicked myself this past week. Midtown had their 75% off sale, and the last incentive was actually available for like $10. And I drug my heels, kept trying to make my cart better and better, and then they were gone. Every book that I was actually wanted to buy was gone when I actually tried to hit. I was like, "Are you?" I mean, it was good. It saved me money because I didn't buy anything. But I really kicked myself.
Books for absolutely nothing, like you tried to do that one time.
Yeah, that one failed them, and they called me on that. Some indie covers, guys. The Shock Shop. Joe, did you read the solicitation at all for it?
I did not.
It's Cullen Bunn. He likes to do horror books. And this is supposedly it's an anthology. I'm getting a little burned out. I mean, everyone wants to do them because there's you just get to basically go. I mean, Joe, this is what you do. Have to Kickstarters you started have been anthology style,
right?
But the cover I like. It's a Francavilla and Fabio Moon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I will probably not pick it up, but I might flip through it. Like we usually say that.
Yeah. Kind of all those anthologies. Like if I see them for cheap, I might grab them just depending on what's going on the interiors.
Yeah, like I had a 4 or 5 handful of ha-has today, and I was like, do I want them? Do I not? They just take up space.
Yeah.
I love this cover in the center. I mean,
did you get #1?
I did not. I was at the store that I bought these at was sold out of Survival Street is the name of the book.
Yeah.
This is issue 2. Oh, it's such a great cover. So cheesy, so much fun. The guy at the store said he really enjoyed it. And he was excited for the next issue.
Cool.
But he's a big indie guy.
I didn't see one either.
Yeah.
So whatever that means.
And then I'm so excited. Erratic is continuing, and I love the first arc. I mean, it's Spider-Man for the AWA world,
right?
So that's why I liked it. I mean, the concept of a superhero who basically hits a button on his watch and has 10 seconds or 10 minutes to do whatever he's going to do at supercharged speeds.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a fun sort of story. And
it's your boy. So
yeah, it's Kari like Atari Andrews. So
yeah, he definitely knows how to write the like fun.
Oh yeah,
fun kind of like action balls to the wall kind of story too. So that's good.
Guys, changing up a little bit. If you follow my articles, if you read them, you'll see it in this sort of format too. Instead of writing DC beside each book, I was like, I can just do DC and then list all the DC books. So I did that on the slides as well. This is the cover. The image you're seeing here is from Flashpoint Beyond #5. I actually really like the cover A for this though.
Right, yeah, it's Mitch Gerard's.
But I was like, we have so many Batman covers. I can't just keep putting Batman covers up there. But it wasn't one of
Wayne. It's not. Never mind.
Yeah, I know it's Thomas, and it's very, but it wasn't for Mitch Gerard's cover. It wasn't probably my favorite, even though it was really good.
Agreed.
So, but this is sort of fun. This is I think the Scott Collins. I do sort of dig the glasses and seeing the reflections. It's especially big and blown up. It's sort of cool.
Yeah.
So, and we've talked about most of the other ones. I'm not. I mean, the reality is, I'm going to read Batman. I'm going to read Detective. Well, I already read Detective because it's the second print, and the rest of them, I'll wait to find the trade.
Yeah.
Instant of variants here. Basilisk had the Ryan Sook's not bad.
Yeah, it did look good.
Magic. I'm actually thankful that some of these Boom has quit doing it too, where they were doing tons of exclusives. They've slowed down. Power Rangers still has quite a few. I don't understand how Magic had about 3, but it was at having like 10, like Power Rangers did. The cover you're looking at here is Dead Lucky #2. I do sort of like it. Dead Lucky freaking got pumped like nobody's business issue 1. I didn't realize it was getting, and like it's, and sometimes when I say pumped, it's a lot of that always has to do who you follow.
Right.
Like we live in Tennessee, so guess what? The Titans are great. No one gives a fuck about the Titans outside of Nashville. So like when you, but I don't know that so like some Dead Lucky. Well, I follow Whatnot people who all had a Whatnot exclusive that they were pumping, so it made it seem like it was a big book, and I'm not sure how big of a book it is. I actually, honestly, I think you and I both sat and talked about it. I was like, it sure does look like the same thing of Radiant Black.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, I did too. I haven't read it, so I couldn't tell you anything more about it. Twig, but we didn't actually feature a Twig cover for the first time. Even though they're good, it's just I gotta quit. We gotta quit. Well, I mean, we're still talking about, but we gotta quit throwing them up there. If we're not going to read the book, and we are eventually.
I mean, I will read that trade eventually.
Yeah,
I know it. It's Scotty Young. He's a good writer now.
Mm-hmm. I've liked, I guess, his last 2 series he did for Image. This is from Artist Elites, the new comic book company that Tyler Kirkham and a comic book store and Ale Garza. This is their incentive. It's sort of fun. Tyler Kirkham.
That's not Two-Face, Bane, and Man-Bat? Oh, my.
Nope. It's I'm sure he stole. Kirkman is definitely an old school 90s. Double O at least knows a player on the Titans.
Oh, nice.
Yep. If it ain't Derrick Henry, no one cares. Yeah, because I mean he makes the top 10 list, and then everyone. Okay. So I'm not crazy. It is part of the Radiant Black universe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Double O.
Yeah, they're just
as in the chat know everything about these books.
Guys, the random minis I have here. Blade in the Dark, I think, is a Blaze, maybe. I know that last line is Aftershock. Phantasmagoria and Vanity are both by Black Caravan, which is Scouts. I
like that cover A for that book.
Yeah,
Phantasmagoria.
Yeah, so they're there. You'll go to the website, you can read them and see what you can see it. But guys, I'm excited. The reason Joe had the shaky camera action, our guest speaker or our quizzer, she's now on camera and she has to answer questions. But let me first jump in and switch screens a little bit. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So guys, stick around, find out about the Kickstarter that Joe is the artist on, and he has actually some pretty cool things inside the Kickstarter, and we'll look at some of that. And I'm excited. But so we are talking about your Kickstarter. First, let's introduce each other or yourselves, I guess.
Do you want to give her? Or I guess they already know you.
Look, I'm Joseph B. Christie, Esquire.
That's true. I'm the visitor. So
normally I'm Joe. But today I decided to be professional.
Be a little
professional.
Yeah. I'm Sasha. I wrote it. I also go by SK.
So is SK your? So what do you go by on the book?
SK is on the book. Yeah.
Okay. So that is really cool. I'm getting up to show you guys the Kickstarter. It just launched today, right?
Yes.
This morning at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. And so did you shoot big? Like, Joe, you were part of the last time I was with the person and they're like, we're doing $5,000, but you're secretly we want $100,000. Actually, we want $500,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I did.
Oh, you did?
I said, we're going to go really low, but really we want $1 million.
Okay.
We did go very low. the main goal for this was just so that we could make a physical comic book.
Yeah.
That was like pristine printed, not like me making a zine and then putting it all together myself.
Yeah.
So we went through a Comic Wellsprings, which is a printer out of like Wisconsin. I don't know. Their website's really easy to navigate if anybody's making comics out there and they want to use somebody.
Okay.
That was why I used them, is because it shouldn't be hard,
Mhm.
and they make it not hard. So
That's good.
yeah.
So what? And so you actually have one in your hand? Like, what's the quality of the paper?
It's good. I got the most expensive everything. I was kind of afraid that if I got the lower quality, it wouldn't print too good, because this is also my first fully digital, like colored, like full color pages.
Okay.
Like some of these pages are like, where's the thing?
Yeah. Oh, you're on there.
They're like painted. I spent days painting these pages. So I got the highest grade quality paper they have. It feels nice. It's 60 pages. It feels heavy in your hand. I still got it saddle stitched. So there's 2 staples in the bad boy, not 4, just 2.
Just no extra ones holding acetate on or anything.
Right. No, not yet. We haven't decided to do that yet, but we might. You never know. But yeah, it feels good in your hand. This is the image that we kind of been using.
Yeah. I'd love that owl. Since you showed me that way back when. Yeah,
I think I sent that to you probably the day I did it.
Everyone I've shown the owl to has been obsessed with it.
Yeah.
They love it.
I showed this owl to my cousin who's not into comics at all, and he was like, "But I'm into owls, man." Like, all right, Rob, whatever.
So, that's awesome. So SK, so if you're the writer, how did you come to write? Or is this your first book? Is this your first published, or what? Talk to me.
So yeah, this is my first published comic, and it was my first comic as an adult, really. I had done one when I was in high school, so when I was about 17, and then I hadn't really written in comics for a while after that. I was mostly doing prose, television, and film as well. And I wrote a novel after I graduated college. And then around that time, Joe was kind of like, basically, you're just like asking people to write like very short things for him to illustrate, just so he could like have a go at working on these comics. And
I was trying to figure out how to use Procreate, because I've always just, I'm a painter, like, so I've always just used paint and ink and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to try to learn this new thing. So I asked everybody, all my friends, I was like, hey, write me a short story. I'm going to illustrate it. And Sasha wrote this, like, it was like 12 pages.
It was super dense, because I think 12 was the limit you would.
Yeah, I said 4 to 12 pages.
And it was like reading like, when I look back at the old script, it's like reading a book. Like, that's how like dense each page is, versus now how I try to pace out information in graphic novels and comics is much looser.
Yeah. So I just kept sending it back. I was like, this is great. Make it longer. This is great. Make it. I think we did that 3 times.
Yeah. And it went from like 12 to, I wanted to do 20, because I kept wanting to keep it as short as possible.
Right.
And then I went to 24, and then I was like, I probably thought I could do it in like 30 or 40, and you were like, we should just do 60.
Yeah. So I really let her, I wanted her to make it bigger so I would have more room to play.
Yeah.
And I would rather, being a painter, I'd rather do the splash page than fill the page up with all these little panels where I have to think about that kind of flow. So there are tons of splash pages through this thing, just because it's easy for me and I really enjoyed it. And those were the pages that I spent like so much energy trying to make them like kind of stand alone. So a lot of the images that we used to like advertise are going to be those splash pages.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like something that you had mentioned to me in the feedback process that you wanted more of. So that was fun too, because I got to expand the story both just as I wanted to and just give everything a little more time, but I also was like thinking about like ways to solve these artistic problems. Although typing out the layouts is like problem solving in itself.
Yeah.
So wait, would you just type layout and then go to the next page, or would you go, I want pink sky, and then we'll go?
I have a pretty like intense layouting process that ties into just my outlining process in general. Like I try to make as many decisions about the story before I hit the page, like in my brain, because I know once I'm like down to the nitty gritty of like building it out panel by panel, I'm gonna have to make a lot of like very quick decisions if I want to keep the pace going. And so for layouts, basically what I usually do is I'm either have an idea of how a piece of information or story flows and I can like build around that, or I'm just like, okay, how quickly can I convey this information?
Yeah. So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna look at your Kickstarter, and we're gonna look at some of the what you guys have here. So let me get over to. So you have a little video here that your brother Joe Matt did, where did he actually edit it or just do the music for it?
He just did the music.
He said
this slow video is me using iMovie for the first time in 8 years or something. So
yeah. So we'll give it a watch just because.
Just to set the mood.
Yeah.
So Matt's doing the music here, and then you'll get to see some of the images. But Joe, like from reading this book, because you sent it to me earlier, like this is a slow. You don't want to speed through this. Like you do have action in it, but it's the setting, it's the mood.
It's a slow burn. Like it's more of a like, unlike most comics, like she doesn't write comics. She writes prose. She writes literature. So like this really has more of a feel of like a story that you would read in literature or a movie that you would watch, as opposed to a comic. Now it does heat up at the end, and it's like kind of crazy. But yeah, it's like spy thriller where you're like, what's happening? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And then things really like get fantastical, really fast. A lot of supernatural stuff starts to happen. So we haven't spoiled any of that in any of our advertisement yet. You know, like.
Well, and I really enjoyed Joe because of course I follow you on Instagram, but like you've been blasting out those little. I love, as an art fan, I love watching process. So you've done a really good job with. That's the beauty of Procreate is you get to show the process of drawing the owl or whatever scene that you wanted to share has really worked. So you set up your Kickstarter. This is your first one either of you have ever done, right?
Yeah.
So going through the process of all the. I got to be on the advising side of one Kickstarter a month or two ago, but I actually didn't actually get to do any of the. Well, I did do some of the writing of the story and thinking through.
A lot more than anybody gave you credit for. How about that?
But it looks really like I love the fact you have the little. It's amazing though when you see Kickstarters and why people don't do these little breaks that you have, like the creative team, and you talk about a little bit about yourself in there.
Yeah, we keep it real tight, and we didn't want to put too many words on the page, and we wanted the work to kind of like, we give you a whole scene there in the middle of the book. So there's 8 pages or something, 7 pages that are all in a row. So you can read that and go, what's happening? And hopefully that just pushes you to want to know more of what actually happens towards the end. It's 60 pages. We ended up cutting a few things just to kind of help with the pacing and move some things down. But
right, I love it. Whenever I get to like a big, huge page, I'm like, oh, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, and then
and then that's sort of cool too. You showed what it looks like as the full splash.
Yeah, I wanted to see people to see that the actual book does exist. So like it does look really good. Like I think it looks really good digitally because the images were made digitally. But my brother read it yesterday in the book.
Mm-hmm.
He'd read it like you months ago when I finished, and he was like, "Man, it's so much easier to read here. I feel like I control the page turn a little better." And he was like, "Wow, it feels like a movie now." And it really, the digital is just different that way.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to have the object. We haven't sold a single digital copy yet either. Like it's all just. It's all. Everybody wants the book, and that's what we want them to have.
Yeah.
We didn't go with covers. I mean, like lots of things are like, get this artist to do a cover, get this artist to do a cover, and that helps you sell them. But we wanted to sell the story. We want people to buy this book because they want to read it, not because it's going to be worth something later. But we wanted them to support art and support us. And, you know, somebody picks this book up and they go, wow, I know how to make this movie now, because Sasha and I've already done all of the like stuff that you've got to do. So I was really impressed with the story, and that's why we made it, you know.
So gameplay said it looks amazing.
Thanks, TTT.
So right now we're hitting your what's available. Tier 1, you can just get the digital, guys, or you can get then you can get the physical copy and the digital. I guess the question would be, and I didn't see this, at least maybe I missed it. Will you sign them if it's a request? Is that an add-on or?
It's not an add-on, but I've got a bunch of them,
yeah.
and I'm probably just going to sign stuff, and I have artwork just sitting around. So like, depending on how many we sell, if it's a reasonable number, I will probably throw a little sketch in almost every one.
Well, that would actually be really cool. Like, I mean, and guys, before he buried the lead.
Right.
Tier 3, you get a Joe Christie original piece, probably the size of the book, maybe.
Yeah, exactly the same size of the book. It'll be an ink drawing, and then Sasha's going to do the exact same thing. So
yeah,
like Sasha's working on 2 mangas that she's writing and drawing. So like she's an artist too. So
and then I guess would my question would be, is this stuff you've already done? So like if I wanted a Joe Christie, or once it's done, would I have the ability to go, hey Joe, I love it when you do Batman. Can you do me a Batman? Like, is this by request? Is this
no?
Just
they're not
anything.
They're not commissions. It'll be something that'll have to do with the book.
Okay.
So it'll be a character or an event or a supernatural thing that happens in the book. Thanks, 00. It'll be fun. Whatever you get, you'll be excited about. And the other little, like I'll throw in a little sketch, or I'll remark like the inside if I have the book, a physical book that I'm going to send out.
Yeah.
So.
And guys, one of the best things about this Kickstarter, because I am still waiting on one I ordered. Shoot, it's been almost a year and a half, and the artist got sick, and then the letter got. I mean, like bad things happen, but I'm like, I'm still waiting on this book, and I got an email going, it should be here in May 2023, and it's just like, I've been waiting on this book. I can't even remember why I got it or which book I got. Joe, you guys have finished it. It is done.
It is done.
All that you need is the number of books to order from the printer.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. We went ahead and again, like trying to learn all this stuff because we want to keep doing this, right? Like this, we already have this, like, this is called Tales from the Boneyard, and this is the Bog story that lives inside of that. But our next book will be Tales of the Boneyard, the Mine, or something. We haven't decided what it's called, but they'll all touch. So Sasha's built this world, and it's kind of like going to Game of Thrones, and this would be like the North, and then the next one would be like, the South or whatever. So they'll look different. Like the next one I'm going to do traditional. It'll be ink instead of digital. I'll color it digitally, but yeah, we're pretty stoked about doing it, man. It's good. And we wanted to have this physical book so we knew exactly what people were going to get.
Yeah.
Like,
I also appreciate, though, you're not trying to rip people off. $7 for digital, $19 for, and then, hey, I want Joe art, $61. Hey, I want Sasha art, $61.
Yeah.
There's only 25 guys. So if you want a piece of art that either of these two have done or will do or whatever, you don't, because they don't want to be drawing for the next 6 years.
Right.
But they will. If that many people really want it, they will open up another tier, I'm sure, because they can go back into Kickstarter and add another tier if they need to.
Right. Yeah. No, we wanted to keep it so that we still made a little bit for our time. I spent 4.5 months drawing this thing.
Yeah.
So I need to make a little bit of money so my wife doesn't kill me. But mostly it was make enough money that we can put it all into making another book. That's the goal. So we can just keep making books. Eventually Sasha's going to get an agent and she's going to start selling stuff to Scout and Image and whoever. because she's young and dumb and like really willing to do all that stuff. I'm an old man. Like I'm just like, give me a good story, let me draw it, and that's what she did. So,
Hey, what was I in that book? I can't remember.
You might
Joe,
be one. You know, I don't think you are. You're in every other book I've drawn.
Joe does the Michael Lark thing where he takes his picture and then he draws his friend. So like it is really weird when he sends me his things. He's like, yeah, you're the Viking or you're the bad guy or whatever. I mean, it's homage. It is so nice. I guess I could see. I don't think this is.
Yeah, that's my friend Frank and Rachel. Yeah, no, I just turned my cousin Josh into a cannibal, and I sent him pictures of me doing things, and I said, hey, I need you to make pictures of you doing these things, and he like totally did it in like 15 minutes, and he was like, what am I? And I was like, oh, you're a cannibal, you eat people. He was like, yes.
One last thing, it showed up there. If you guys, the Kickstarter link is in the YouTube video. You can go to it, and I think it's on Facebook Live as well. Or you can click on it. You can go join the pledge. I mean, it's live for the next 30 days.
We doubled our goal today, so that's huge. Like we're already super happy. I mean, I made everybody that is like in my inner circle. I said, I need to call in a favor. I want to have a successful Kickstarter. I didn't know it would happen this quickly, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get, more different people, because I think I was looking on the Kickstarter. I pretty much know everyone that's playing. See, it's some of our folks. So we got to get it out there to other people. And
one of the ways, and especially, hey, those of you in CBSI world, I know there's a lot of shops. They do have a retailer packet.
We have sold 2 of those.
We've sold 2 now?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can buy 7 copies of the book, and the great thing is you can name your price on them. So it's the size of a trade paperback. So it is sort of nice. You can get you can name your price on it. I mean, especially, if Joe's going to throw in random signatures and random things, I mean, shoot, I have Matt Kent books because he does that too. I mean, he just does a quick little remark. For him, it's no time. It's like, hey, I got red-handed random trade for $20, and it has him signed it in the back. But guys, I love. Of course, I've known about this for a while, so it's so cool to see it come to be live. To Sasha, to get to meet you, because I only hear Joe's side of everything, so I'm sorry. But this is so cool. I always love seeing Kickstarters. I love talking to the creators of them. But this is the Bog. You can search for it on Kickstarter if you want. If nothing else, hey, grab the digital copy. But like he said, in your hand, it's so much prettier. It's so much nicer. And I probably will agree when I get a copy in my hand, because I'm going to support it as well. I have not done that yet. It's been a very busy day for me in my job in real life. But
well, and you were up until the butt crack of dawn.
Yes, the tax show sort of wore me out a little bit, though it was great, guys. But yeah, and we're going to continue this trend of talking about Kickstarters, because Joe's going to be able to pick a expert Kickstarter's brain next week. Jonathan Hedrick is going to join us, who does the recount, and he's going to hopefully pop in and do some of the new comic talk as well. But he's going to be there to talk about he has like 4 or 5 different things. He's a machine now.
Yeah, he's so much stuff. I mean, you look on his stuff on Instagram, and it's overwhelming just what is coming out this fall.
Oh yeah.
Like, plus he's still always kicking like, oh, remember when I did this like 2 months ago? And you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, he's a go-getter. So
it'd
be cool to meet him.
He'll join us. I mean, I got to interview him several months ago, so it's going to be sort of cool. But I love the fact that we get brand new, fresh newbie Kickstarter people here, and then we're going to get to talk to someone who, and if you're a Kickstarter person, I don't mind talking to you for 25 minutes, and just picking your brain, because that's how I learned. That's how Joe learns. But also, we just like talking art. We like talking stories. We like to know why. When I find out but sadly, it also costs me money, because then I will support your Kickstarter. And I have stacks of Kickstarters where I'm like, damn it, if I hadn't talked to him, I would have never bought his book. I mean, Garrett Gunn, F you. No. I actually really like Franklin and Ghost, but if I hadn't talked to him, I wouldn't have bought every cover of Franklin and Ghost there is.
Right.
Unless that becomes an amazing book, and I have the next Superman on my hand here. But,
Right.
all right, guys, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, go get this book, go get the updates, go get the Bog. The story's great. The art is amazing. I have to plug Joe more. Sasha, sorry. I mean, he's my guy. But I love the splash page. If you want to get a piece of Joe art, I mean, to me, that's also great. And then Sasha does her thing. I mean, former student of Joe, so that's really cool too. So check us out. Check out, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.